everyone, and welcome to another episode of Teens Talk TV. Today, we will be discussing life after college. We have a handful of guests and panelists today, so we're going to start off with our guest, Miss Peyton Sutton.
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. This is my second episode on Teens Talk TV. I am so excited. I am currently a university recruiter for Amtrak, and I specialize in hiring undergrads and grads for internships. I also hire new grads from 1 to 5 years out after graduation for our rotational program. Aside from that, I do focus on college readiness to help students with resume building, cover letter building, also interview prep, the whole 9 yards. A lot of my background has a lot to do with that. So I am very passionate when it comes to college students, even high school students and young adults, in focusing on career readiness. I did receive a Bachelor of Arts in Communication with a minor in business from Temple University just over a year ago. And I am currently pursuing a master's in human resources management at University of Maryland.
Hello, everyone. I am Delaney Haggins. I'm an undergraduate student at Montclair State University in Montclair, New Jersey, and I am a business administration major for concentration in marketing. Happy to be here.
Hello, everybody. My name is Damaris Moore. I'm a sophomore advertising major from the illustrious Howard University located in DC, and I'm from Waldorf, Maryland.
Hey everyone, my name is Ariel Wright. I attend Morgan State University in Baltimore, Maryland, and I'm a biology major from Prince George's County, Maryland.
Hello, everyone. My name is Justin Henry. I'm an animation and graphic design major at VCU, and I'm currently going into my sophomore year.
Hey, so you might have seen my face quite a bit on this show, but my name is David McPayden, and I'm actually a Towson University undergraduate student studying healthcare administration, and I'm just looking toward finishing out my degree and then joining the Air Force after that.
Thank you all so much. So we're going to start off by having Peyton answer a couple of questions, and then we're going to open it up to the panelists so you guys can use some of her expertise. So Peyton, what are some of the biggest mistakes that you see recent grads make when it comes to transitioning into the workforce? Does it have to do with their interview skills? Is it their resume? What do you see as the biggest concern?
I definitely look at their interview skills. I feel like they use a lot of experience from maybe like their career center, not focusing on like doing that background research. A lot of interviews with different employers are more so behavioral based, and then also skill-based questions included, but just doing that background research to prepare yourself. Of course, a lot of people are nervous. I'm even nervous right now, but just taking the time, again, to do that background research and to have those questions in the back of their head and how they will answer each question to showcase their skills in order for them to actively give off those answers to their interview panel.
Thank you so much. So now we're going to get into it with our panelists. So I'm going to ask you guys a few questions, and Peyton, if there's something that you want to chime in with, just go ahead and we could talk about it. So I'm wondering for all of you, if you guys have ever used your school's career center, or if your school even has one, or if you tend to rely on your advisor a little bit more, or even if your advisors or different students on campus have different experiences with different colleges within your school. So we're going to start with Justin today.
So far I haven't used my career services center at VCU yet, mostly because I'm not sure if I can even really get into many opportunities, especially during the summer, because they don't offer internships based off of just your freshman year. I have to finish at least 2 years within my program to actually start going into like internships and other career opportunities. But my advisors do help out a lot when it comes to looking for possible internships. And I would definitely say that that is a strong point for VCU.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I was gonna say that I normally do not make use of the Career Center. I feel like at Howard, so first semester I was a business student, and I've talked about that on some of the episodes and just about that program and how it's pretty accessible in terms of finding people who can link you to those certain places or link you at least to a start to the certain places or fields you want to work in. So in terms of like internships and things like that, I actually can speak about an experience. I applied for an internship for this fall, and I got connected with with my friend's colleague who actually works for the company. And so me and her connected. She's a Howard alum. So we talked, she gave me some insight to the company and stuff like that. So 9 times out of 10, my approach to it is I just kind of seek the information for myself, and then, or sometimes it gets told to me, and then I try to connect with people who can give me more insight to it. And also just so they can put a face to my name and get to know me. And then, that way, it can work for you.
I would say for me, as far as my experiences with career services, I have had the opportunity to have career services through my advisor, through co-op. I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with that, but if you have an internship, it's a way that you can receive academic credit through the co-op program. And so for the past 2 years, I have had an internship with the federal government with the U.S. Department of Transportation in Washington, D.C. So for my first year, I was able to use co-op, which I received 3 credits towards my college career. And it was very beneficial that way. I was able to receive credit while also working an internship.
Okay, so far I haven't utilized the Career Center at my school, but I would say I rely heavily on my advisor. But also when I was accepted into Morgan, it was this program called Fuse, where it allows me to have bi-weekly meetings with the dean of the biology, physics, math, and I think chemistry department as well. So they do give me a lot of opportunities, which I do appreciate. But over the summer, I haven't utilized them just yet, but for the upcoming fall, I definitely will.
I would say I definitely use a lot of career center opportunities, just being because I kind of started as a nursing major, and then from that I kind of decided that's really not where I wanted to be. So I wanted to go into healthcare administration, which is kind of the more business side of things. So I had to talk to my advisor like plenty of times. She kind of like counseled me, I would say, in a way, like just kind of told me, well, this is where you seem like you're heading in the direction of, so let me put you in contact with different people in this major and see like if they can help you out. So from there, I kind of just, I guess I just found myself in healthcare administration. And then once I got accepted into the program, they kind of were really, really good about, they kind of have like a group, I would say email like list where they just send out all the internships available in the field and just like different things like that. And then I would say Towson definitely has like a good partnership with Handshake. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with that, but it's kind of just a base where like you can just get internships and where employers can really just get in contact with you.
That is great. You guys might troll me. I am not a big fan of Handshake, and I really don't like LinkedIn either, but I have them both because I want to get a job. So I guess we have to do what we have to do. But next I want to talk about professional organizations on campus. Peyton, have you seen a lot of students take part in a lot of professional organizations or like sororities and fraternities? I know at Howard, we have the business one, nursing, and it's kind of popular. So do you see a lot of students that have participated in those orgs, and do you think that that's been beneficial? And then I'll take it over to you guys and ask if you guys would join one for your career in your field.
Yeah, definitely. So before I answer this question, I just want to quickly backtrack because I wanted to touch base on the question that you just asked everyone. I love that you asked that specific question after the first question you asked me, because it really correlated with my answer. So you all have the career centers at your school, but you don't really utilize them, or some people do more than others. I think that you should do that. That is so important. Career Center is not just there to help you get an internship, but how to prepare for that interview in order to actually land that position. I know for a fact with the previous Career Center that I had at Temple, they helped me create a LinkedIn. They helped me market myself on LinkedIn, even Handshake helped me do mock interviews. So I'm not nervous or scared or stumbling my answers every single time that I go into an interview. So I definitely think that you all should utilize your Career Center as much as you can. Again, that goes into my answer for the first question that Madison asked me. That is where I see a lot of post-grad students stumbling when it comes to life after college. Okay. Next, I definitely do see a lot of undergrads and then even graduate students like list on their resumes that they're in some type of student organization. I feel like that is great. It contributes to not only your academics, but extracurricular activities, and then even experience. As a recruiter, especially for students, we don't always look for you to have the experience per se, and then like look at the courses that you take. We want to see who you are as a person, how well you will interact with other interns or even the team that you may be potentially working with. So trying to showcase yourself and who you are as a person is important. I feel like you can definitely do that through student organizations. I am in a sorority myself. So when I was in college, every interview that I had, I definitely spoke to that and how that helped me as a person, whether it was with my personal skills or even technical skills. So I definitely think that if you are not in a student organization, try to join one. If it's a fraternity, sorority, or even a business or a HR student organization, advertising organization, try to join that, because I'm pretty sure that you can learn other skills from there as well, aside from your classes.
Any of our panelists want to chime in? Damaris, how about you? Because you go to Howard with me, and we do have a handful of professional orgs. So I know you switched from SOB to SOC. So what do you think about like our council or spotlight? What do you think about all that?
In terms of, I think SOB does a really good job of helping you find your niche kind of group or whatever. I do remember because they gave the floor over to all of the business organizations and business frats in one of our classes, or actually it was like a 2-part class. So I had BO, which is business orientation, on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So it was a 2-part class. So on Tuesdays, they had, I think it was like 6 or 8 people represent their organization or business frat. And so 4 of them spoke, answered questions, gave a presentation. The other 4 spoke, gave their presentation and whatnot. I remember specifically that there was one for finance, supply chain, and they kind of got into, specifically creating a group of people that not only can you guys learn from each other and help each other out, but that will link you to those alumni and stuff who will help you get those specific opportunities for your interests. So I definitely think that they're beneficial. I'm looking at some of the business fraternities and sororities. I think it's helpful. My mom is a part of some, so I firsthand witnessed how it can and cannot aid you in certain ways. So I definitely think it's helpful. There's a lot of options at Howard specifically for that. I can go on and on about Howard, but I'm just saying that is definitely an option for all students, incoming students, all of them.
Thank you. Does anybody else want to chime in on that? Or I know I put Damaris on the spot, so she didn't want to. Oh yeah, go ahead, Delaney.
Sure. As far as my university, we also do offer a lot of organizations, club and organizations on campus. I am also a member of a sorority on my campus. So we have tons of fraternities and sororities, as well as cultural organizations. It's always nice to see different cultures all uniting and showcasing what they're all about, as far as Black Student Union, Calypso, HSA, so Haitian organization. We also have social communal organizations, like we have for going to a PWI, we have a such thing called Complexions, which at an HBCU is usually like your dancers that dance with the band. And so what we have is like, we have girls in a Complexions group that somewhat do same style of dancing, which is really nice to see. That can bring that HBCU feel to a PWI at football games. And we also have all different kinds of academic organizations, such as a marketing student, we have a marketing club for communication students. They have communication clubs and all different sort of academic organizations. And last but not least, we also have special interest organizations, which can consist of like an a cappella club, car club, dance company. So there's all different clubs and organizations on campus that students can be a part of to make themselves happy.
I just want to say Delaney came ready today. She said she gonna boom, boom, boom. She gonna let y'all know where y'all can go. I love it.
Does anybody else want to share? If not, we can go on to our next question.
I can share. So I'm not really familiar with a lot of the sororities on my campus just yet, or organizations, but from what I have seen, like my godmother, she's an AKA, and I remember when I first applied to Morgan, I had wanted to come and tour the campus, but it was during the middle of COVID, so I didn't really have access to it. And I remember she's not a Morgan alum, but she made a phone call next day, somebody's on the campus, hey, I'll give you a tour, like I can show you around. I loved it. So I definitely believe in the power of networking, just reaching out, putting your fillers out there, everybody's there to help, especially on the HBCU campus.
Yeah,
I would definitely say like joining frats and sororities is really good for connections, and also just surrounding yourself with like-minded people, which is really, really important, especially if you're trying to join like any type of business or career-oriented fraternity or sorority. So yeah, right now I'm actually looking into getting into one. I can't name that fraternity because of obvious reasons, but yeah, I would say it's really, really important to surround yourself with people who are like you and just want to go up with you.
for sure. And we wish you the best of luck with that.
Wish you the best. Wish you the best.
For real. But here's the next thing that I think has really stressed me out, even from high school, is resumes. Just because I heard that employers see a certain type of resume and know right off the bat that it's something that they don't want to read or they don't like. So Peyton, please get into the crazy world of resumes, the do's, the don'ts. Like, is it useful to have more than one resume? How do you pick what goes with, like, break it all the way down, please.
If I break it all the way down, we will literally be here for 2 extra hours. So I'm gonna try to concise everything and obviously give you, I guess, my take on it as an active recruiter, right? So you'll definitely have some employers who have an applicant tracking system that automatically pulls resumes from putting in keywords in their search engine. You may get lucky, you may get not in knowing which employers you apply to have that tracking system, but fortunately for Amtrak, we don't do that. So we skim through all of our candidates to see if they're a good fit. Skimming through tons of candidates means that your resume needs to be up to par, because if it's out of order, if it just looks crazy, I'm sorry, if it's 3 pages, 2 pages even, 9 times out of 10, we're going to skip that resume, okay? So just knowing how to format your resume correctly, definitely say the same thing to every student that I talk to. Have your education at the top, following your experience. You can even put your skills before your experience, but highlight the main 3 things at the top. You don't want to have a recruiter skimming through your resume looking for the most important things when you're applying to a position, because 9 times out of 10, even 10 times out of 10, we know the type of candidate that we're looking for from talking to a specific hiring manager or a hiring team. Okay, so you could be majoring in a specific degree or program, whatever it is that you're applying to, but if you don't have the skills at the top of your resume, it's like, okay, I don't even want to consider this because it's a lot going on, basically. Do's and don'ts, already named one don't. If you do not have at least 5 to 7, really 6 to 7, 8 years of experience, you do not need to have a 2-page resume. Try to make it as concise as possible. Also, using certain verbs, using the correct tenses. If you've already participated or had a previous internship, make sure you correct that once that internship is over and you're actively looking for a new position. And then I would definitely say, I'm trying to point out the best ones to use here. Definitely have different resumes. I see a lot of students, they apply to different positions, even with the same employer, but your skills and your experience need to match up with the specific position that you are applying to. I even see some students use the same cover letter for the same position, which is very bad. Oftentimes they'll use the same one from a previous employer or a new employer. So you just always want to be cautious, always proofread, always revise. Definitely look at the position that you are applying to. Look at the key skills that they're looking for on that job description. And if you have that skill, put that on your resume. If you've done something that correlates with the typical duties that are in the job description, put that on your resume as well, okay? Always showcase what you have done that more so looks like you contributed to the previous team or employer that you worked with. You don't want to say, oh, I filed papers, I actively went through files and I printed papers and gave them to my manager. You don't want to say anything like that. If you worked on a certain project and you contributed to that team and they executed whatever you did, even after your absence, put that on your resume as well. Just actively show what you have done, what you can do, and why you would definitely be an asset to whatever employer that you are applying to.
Thank you so much. So y'all need to go back to that Google Doc for your resume, because I know that I think it's so hard to balance. And then I feel like I have so many things and it's hard to know when to get rid of an experience. Like, how do you know that an experience is not valid anymore? Can you help me with that? I'm using you during my personal time. But go
It's
ahead.
okay. But like I just said, if you have a certain experience that you don't think correlates with the position that you're applying to, I would take it off. Or I don't know what type of application you all use to create your resumes, but that plays a part in it as well. I know you probably use 12.5. If you have to squeeze 8.5 on your resume, do that. I'm so serious. If you think that all of your experience, your projects, your activities needs to be on your resume because that will help you, put that 8.5 on there. I'm so serious. And then convert it to a PDF. It'll be fine once it goes into a tracking system. It won't even look tiny, I promise you. That's a trick right there. If you have a lot of experience and you do not want to get rid of anything, make that font smaller. I'm telling you right now, make it smaller. We can see it. It's okay. It might look weird on Word, but once you convert it to a PDF and we see it in an applicant tracking system, you'll be fine.
Okay, that's definitely good to know. So we've already talked a little bit about networking, and I know that we're all great at networking, but I heard a few of you, well, I saw a few of you shake your head when we started talking about Handshake in LinkedIn. So does anybody have any like outstanding experiences with either LinkedIn or Handshake that has landed them a job or an internship, a fellowship that they want to share? And then tell us how you did it, because like I said, I don't like handshakes. So if y'all can give me some tips, I would love it. Anyone want to start us off?
I guess I can start us off. So basically, I got I think it was Morgan Stanley reached out to me about an internship. I'm not in financial services, or I'm not a official business major, but if you have just profiles on there and you just build your presence on there, people will definitely contact you about internships. So it's definitely important to just have your face, your name, and just your resume out there.
I had a general question, actually. What is the difference between Handshake and LinkedIn? Because I'm actually not familiar with Handshake. So if someone can actually explain that.
Please, can I explain? Because I actively work in Handshake every single day. Like I meet with Handshake every week, okay? So Handshake is basically for schools and employers to connect. If I don't have enough candidates in my pool that apply through our career portal, I will go straight to Handshake and send out those applications to several students, to several schools. A school can post a job on their web page or their profile, but it's basically for employers and students and schools to connect. Where you have LinkedIn is for everybody. Anybody can use LinkedIn. You can sign up through LinkedIn and talk to an employer off of your personal account. I think that you can create an account through Handshake on your own, but 8, 9 times out of 10, you have it through your school because you do have to pay for it. LinkedIn is free. I do like, personally, I'm sorry, I don't know if anyone from Handshake will see this, but I do like LinkedIn better. It's much easier to navigate and easier to connect with people, especially because you can see opportunities on your news feed. You can see someone post about a opportunity on their newsfeed. It's just very open. I would say that's the main difference. In my opinion, if anybody can help me, please do, because I feel like I'm rambling.
Yeah,
I
you
will say I like LinkedIn way better too, especially like if you want to step out of a academic professional zone. So like I'm an actor, so I use LinkedIn for acting as well. If you ever want to model, do photography, that's a really, really good network to be in.
Yeah, I can kind of speak to my experience as now a rising sophomore. So I got my first experience with like I said, in business, and they start you on that from day one. They start you on setting up your LinkedIn, your resume, interview prep, all of that from day one, right? So interview prep and all of that, cool, I'm good. Whatever. Got set up on Handshake, cool, I'm good. I got my name or whatever on LinkedIn, cool, I'm good. Then I switched to communications. I'm like, okay, like I'm not really trying to insert myself into that corporate world. Like I got some time to work on that. No, like when I'm looking at internships for companies that I'm interested in, like they're like, oh girl, like you need to get that together. So I got it together. My name is on there. My face is on there. My experience, skills, resume, all of that is on there. Still trying to work on it. I can't even work Twitter, but I am working on it. Also very much working on resume building, because I did a ton of stuff in high school, a ton of stuff. Then you get to college, it's like, okay, trying to balance the academics, trying to understand what kind of student you need to be in order to be successful academically. And so I didn't overload myself a whole bunch with extracurricular activities. Boom, that's changing sophomore year. Y'all gonna see. Y'all, we follow each other on Instagram now, so y'all gonna see. But anyways, yeah, so that's what I'm working on now with LinkedIn, is making sure I establish my presence, connecting with people. I always see those little messages, like people with their thumbs up, like, oh, look at me, I just finished my first week with Chicken Nugget Academy, stuff like that. So trying to work on that resume building. It's a lot of pressure because like Ms. Sutton was talking about with experience, I know some employers, they're not like super duper focused on your experience, but I feel like it definitely, does help. And I know I feel more strong with, or not strong, but more confident in my interview side, or like, winning people over with my personality and, doing my research on the company. I can show that I know what I'm talking about. But I'm really focused on that experience. I want to, you know, that's to back it up too. But that's what I'm working on. I be rambling too. It's okay, Miss Payne, son.
Well, I definitely think, Damaris, that if you want to, like, focus on that certain aspect, go to your career center. Like, this is going to be my main thing. Go to your career center. If you need help branding or marketing yourself on LinkedIn, I feel like that is what your career center should be there for. I don't know how everyone's career center is at their schools, but for the most part, from my experience, not only in college myself, but talking to career centers when I go to like career fairs at schools, that is what they advocate. Like, that is what the career advisors advocate that they do. I think some even have students, you know, take their headshots there. So it's the whole 9 yards, that interview prep. I think you said that you were comfortable in that part, but you can never get enough practice. I still do it myself.
Thank you, guys. Okay, so the big question, I'm gonna direct this towards Delaney and David, since, you know, we're on our way into the real world real soon. So how are you preparing right now for life after college? And then is there anything that like is making you nervous? Is there anything that you're like, oh, I'm not so sure about that, I'm not ready for that? So yeah, I'm gonna let y'all go first, and then I'll share, because I have my fair share of concerns. But Delaney, I'm gonna let you go first.
Sure. Well, first off, I'm very excited for our last year. This is going to be great. I'm actually coming out a semester early, so I'll be done this fall. All glory to God. But anyway, as far as preparing for what's next, like I said, I am an intern with the U.S. Department of Transportation in DC. And so currently, since I'm a second year intern, I'm just trying to figure out, is, you know, my plan going to be federal government, or am I going to go into private sector? So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Trying to see if, you know, am I going to have a job right outside of college, or if I'm going to, you know, have to still do some internships, which is still great. You know, it's always great to get the experience of interning with different companies. But if you feel like you're you know, you feel comfortable with the company that you already are going to be working with as an intern, you know, continue to build up your skills within that company, network some more. That way people can definitely put more of a face with a name. But like I said, I mean, I'm excited for what's to come. I don't know if I have any concerns. I think for the most part, what's concerning is just more independency again, like just knowing like, okay, in a couple of years, I'm going to have to start paying bills. I'm going to have to, you know, start thinking about living on my own. Like, you know, I'm an only child here. I don't have an older figure as a sibling to kind of gear me in the right direction and say, yeah, make sure you do this, make sure you do that. So, I'm just going to take everything all into consideration and just focus on the present and just finish this year off strong.
I would say I'm just kind of taking the approach of just building the best version of myself, because that's what's going to be marketable to employers and just all the other ventures that I want to be a part of in my life. So right now I'm taking real estate classes to become a real estate agent. So that's just part of one of the things I wanted to do. I kind of wanted to get into that real estate investing side. So I realized that I need to kind of just jump on that before I get out of college, because when I get out of college, I think a lot of things are just going to be swarming crazy. Next year is probably going to be a lot of internships. So I didn't want to put that on hold. I'm trying to do different things as far as networking. I'm doing acting auditions like relentlessly. One thing I definitely did learn, because I went to acting and modeling school, one thing I did learn was to sell yourself. So acting industry, I'm not sure if anybody knows this, but it's very, very cruel. It's very, very heartless. It's very cutthroat. If you did not have, sometimes like if you don't have like a resume that like looks professional, like they'll just toss you out and they'll basically just say, thanks for showing up for your interview, or thanks for showing up for your audition today, but we think we're going to look at somebody else. Like it's really very, very cutthroat as far as that. So from the jump, I kind of learned the importance of resume building. Just building yourself is an asset that people would want to reach out to you and want you, not that not that you would have to scramble and like try to find wherever you want to go. You want people to reach out to you and want you for what you have to offer.
For sure. So thanks to Howard's housing crisis, I actually don't have to adjust to living on my own because Howard helped me and did that for me. So that's one less adulting thing that I have to worry about. But I would say one thing that's definitely been on my mind since I will be graduating in May is figuring out if I want, like you said, Delaney, if I want to be a corporate girly or if I want to do nonprofit. So I really enjoy nonprofit work. I think it's like way more fulfilling, and I feel like the people I work for care about me, not just the work that I do. But with that being said, this is my second internship with NASA, and when I was in person with them 2 weeks ago, my mom was like, you should go and find someone in HR and talk about like how you can get a job there. So I think like just seizing the moment and just taking the time to like, so like, what do y'all look for in like a regular candidate, and sitting in meetings to hear about like all the people who are now in leadership positions say that they were interns and they started as interns was something that was really nice for me to hear. So I think that like continuing to put yourself out there will expose you to more things, and then trying everything to see what you like, what you don't like. There's some things about the corporate girly life that I really like, and there's some things that in the nonprofit sector that I don't like. So, you know, you kind of just have to take things with a grain of salt, but I am definitely worried about them bills that Delaney is talking about, especially being a comms major, like, you know, 40 a year is looking good compared to other majors. That's like nothing. That's baby, that's internship money. So you know, it's kind of like looking at the differences like within my fields, and you know, what does that mean? Does that mean like living at home for a couple extra more years? So it's just like a lot that goes into it, but it's not bad, but definitely like trying to set yourself up for success without stressing yourself out too much, I'd say, is definitely the key. So now for my other three panelists, and everybody else too, what are you all's goals for yourself for the remainder of your time in college or even after college? Ariel, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I just want to highlight what David said. What my main focus is just trying to become the best version of myself. My end goal is to become a hematologist and focused on sickle cell patients, specifically children, though. And yeah, so if I can definitely get some more experience in the medical field, I'm gonna be happy with it. Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at with it. But we gonna hold off on them bills a lot more, though. I'm with y'all.
For me, the main thing that I want to do with the remainder of my time at VCU is definitely work on learning as much as I can about the animation and art world, and not just in animation, but also in graphic design, in video editing, in special effects, and sound engineering. Because for me, I want to build that level of versatility that no one else can compare to, on top of building up a network of other people that may specialize in some of those things that I talk about. My end goal is to kind of create a little bit of a multimedia empire by the time I'm like 24, 25. That's my main thing right there. And not even just that, but also lead that into the business and marketing realm, because all the animation and graphic design, it goes into how you show and how you represent whatever company that you're working for, how you represent that product, and it all leads back to what I do. So if I can control the best assets and the best talents and the best skill, that brings in the best money at the end of the day.
So like I stated previously, I'm a makeup artist. So that's really my passion, is the beauty industry. So I look forward to definitely, I see no reason why I can't have like 20K followers on Instagram doing red carpet glams by 2023. I don't see any reason why I cannot. So that's what I'll be doing. And then by graduation, I definitely will have collaborated with some cosmetics brands. I'm looking to start my cosmetics brand by 2023 as well. So expanding with that, I am an advertising major, so I'm very interested in the marketing and advertising world. My freelance makeup artistry isn't my first business. I actually sold things before, so I kind of got insight into that whole thing. I do that social media managing as well. So I don't know, taking that wherever I can, do everything. Something that my family and just and other family friends told me was always try everything, do everything. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna try and do everything. I also sing. I have a background in acting, period. So we're gonna do everything, just basically being Kanye West and taking over the world. And that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, no, it's definitely giving. Justin's multimedia company. I'm the director. Ariel is saving lives on set, bringing some little snacks. David is acting. Demarius and Delaney PR advertising. I see it. I see it. I definitely see it. But this is the last question for everybody. What advice would you give, or to somebody who maybe like doesn't have a goal or feels a little bit lost, like in college, and they don't have a vision, they don't have a plan, like even for all of us, even though we don't even have it figured out, we're gonna let Miss Peyton start, but think about what advice you would give, because we're all here, we all do have some direction. So what advice would you give to somebody who's struggling just a little bit?
I would definitely say put yourself out there and get into as many orgs and clubs as you can, because that way you'll see some type of, inroad or beginning road for yourself. I think 2 people here are communications majors. Like I said, I have my bachelor's in communications. When I first started, I said, I'm going to be in radio. I'm going to be a radio host. That's exactly what I wanted. I didn't want to do nothing else. I got on the radio station at Temple, loved it, but then I started to see active radio hosts. We got to go to radio stations in Philadelphia and meet radio hosts and learn about their journey. I said, wait, pause. I don't think that this is me. So I started getting into other things. I started trying to get not behind the scenes, because you're not on the scene on the radio, but getting on that kind of exec side of the radio station. That's where my passion for human resources came. So like you all said, put yourself out there, try to take in as much as you can, learn as much as you can, and do not be complacent. And the more that you think that you can do anything, the more you can and the more that you will. As long as you have a plan or plans and you know how you're going to execute them, you will be fine. You will literally be fine. Have your plan, know how to execute them. And I don't know if you all think that you don't have a plan, but listening to what everyone said, you all do. So just take that. How are you going to execute it now? I don't think being a freshman, I don't think being a sophomore is too young to get your experience. You may not get it from wherever you're seeking it, such as certain employers, but get that experience from somewhere else. Google is free. YouTube is free. Go to some nonprofits. Volunteer. You can definitely get that experience and put yourself out there. You never know who you will meet that can connect you to wherever you want to go. Okay? And be patient. Be patient. I know that we, especially seniors, think that, oh my gosh, I need a job right out of college. You don't. Take time to take it in that you just graduated. I will definitely say I had a job after college. I started the week I graduated, from the week after I graduated. I was like, this is crazy. Then I found myself like, okay, now I don't want to work. I want to take a break. Take that in. You can have a job 3, 4, 5, 6 months after. Like, it will come to you. Pace yourself. I feel like the more that you try to rush everything, that may cause for a little bit of destruction. It may not. Everyone is different. Everyone's path is different, but still pace yourself. Everything will work out in the end. Please trust me. Even if a job that you have is not where you want to be in the next 2 to 5 years, just pace yourself. Like, everything will come to you. Everything is a learning experience.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Peyton. Personally, I would say don't feel discouraged. I feel like a lot of times, like a lot of people, they tend to feel discouraged and think there's things not, in their direction right then and there. Like Peyton said, be patient. Like, there are plenty things out there for you. Take your hobbies, your talents, and use that fire into something that you'll be good at. And I feel like, depending on whatever university that you'll be attending, have fun, explore, continue to learn as much as you can. There's still lots of things to learn. Like I said, I'm a senior this year and I have still room for improvement. I'm learning each and every day as I'm going along. So definitely don't feel discouraged, stay patient, continue learning, and overall just have fun, enjoy the experience.
I would say definitely like patience goes a long way, especially with me, because I'm kind of like, I just have a brain that wants to do everything right now. And it kind of like creates like a really, really anxious space, because you're like, wow, I'm not here. And also definitely don't look at where other people are, because you're not supposed to be where everybody else is at. You're supposed to be where you are in that present time. I would say definitely just be consistent. So be consistent with what you're doing. And when you make a decision, just like go for it. It's okay to change your mind, but like while you're actively choosing to do something, just try your best in whatever you're doing at that present time.
To piggyback kind of off of what David mentioned, understand that everyone starts from somewhere. I think a lot of people definitely struggle with that in all aspects of life. Whenever you're learning to do something new, you watch the best, you see who's at the top, and then you have to remember that they all started in the same place you are. So give yourself a little bit of leeway, understand that there's work to do, and then just kind of do that work leading up to it. And then patience really is key at the end of the day. You will get to where you want to get to as long as you stay on track and just stay steady.
I definitely agree with what everybody has said. I think it's also finding that balance. It's definitely finding that balance, and you kind of also have to take inventory of like, you have to remember that the people that you're watching or looking at and where that they have developed the muscles to be able to take the stresses of where they are. So try to make sure that you're trying to train yourself every day to be in that mindset, to be that boss, or to be this, or to be that, because God doesn't allow you to have certain things because it's not that time. You're not prepared. You're not ready. So you have to pray that you can, every day stay disciplined enough to train your mind first, not just to have the goals, but to train your mind to be ready for those goals. And then also, I feel like a lot of times people that do not have some kind of direction, it's not because it's not that they don't want to do anything. I think sometimes people get too anxious and too nervous and too scared to pursue what they really want to do. So I would say dream big and dream huge and do what you want to do. And really what that stems from is not trusting yourself. So build the trust that you have with yourself and trust yourself to make the things happen for yourself. And if you don't trust yourself, then you got to work on you. Before you get to goals and before you get to working on your financial freedom, you have to make sure that you're straight and mentally, you know what I'm saying? Again, you can handle it. So work on yourself, trust yourself to know that you're the kind of person who's going to go and you're going to get it. And trust that, whatever and however long or short that timeline is, that there is a timeline and there is a plan. And you're not going to always know that plan, even though you have your own. But trust yourself to know that you'll get there and you'll get to where you want to be.
Oh, all y'all say good things. But what I would say is a quote that I always live by is nothing beats a failure but a try. And I would say just don't be afraid to go out here and try different things. Like if something is piquing your interest, do it. Just give it a shot. Like college is an experience or a place for you to gain experiences, and everything can be a learning experience for you. So just go after what you want and deal with the rest later.
And real quick, because she gave a quote, so sorry, Madison, but because she gave a quote, it reminded me of this quote that my mom always tells me from this movie, A Bronx Tales, one of my favorite movies. But it said, the saddest thing in life is wasted talent. So that's what it is. The saddest thing in life is wasted talent. If you got talent, don't be scared. Don't be scared, no matter your circumstance. If you have a talent and you know what I'm saying, you want to be the best shoe tire in the world, and that's what you want to do, hey, you better tie them shoes. You better tie them shoes because you can do it. I can't tie shoes like you, so tie shoes. And that's it.
No, that's a funny example, but that's a really good point. And I was just gonna speak about like talent. Like if other people see something in you, trust and believe what they see. My former boss from last summer sent me a position for NASA. I said, why would they hire me? They've hired me twice in the past year. So, just say yes, just do things. If people believe in you, people are feeding into you. It's just there are millions of people on this earth. If they wanted to feed into somebody else, they could have and they would have. So if they're doing that for you, know that whatever juice or spunk that you have is worth it and you're worth it. And all you have to do is, put yourself out there. But this was great, guys. We always have a great time. We always have a great time. So that is the end of today's episode. A special shout out to our panelists and especially Ms. Sutton for coming out with us again and giving us some tips as we lead into adulting in our wonderful, wonderful careers. But for everybody watching at home, be sure to check out inreachinc.org for more information related to this topic, upcoming events, and more information about things going on in the wonderful Prince George's County. And we will see you all next time.